This is Andrew Stotts talking about careers in finance with Austine Archibong. Austine, maybe you can take a moment and introduce yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Austine Archibong. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. I've lived there all my life. I I did my undergraduate in chemical engineering, but I've always loved finance. So straight out of school, I I joined some other people and we launched a startup where we started teaching young people about programming, about coding. Did that for like a year, but it didn't work that much for me. So I had to leave it and come back to work. I had interned at PwC earlier in strategy. So I came back, but there was not much option for me in strategy except assurance. So right now I'm an associate, experienced associate in assurance or in audit and assurance at PwC Lagos.
Got it. And when you were studying in university, what did you think that you wanted to do? And what's different from what you thought?
First of all, I knew I didn't want to do field engineering work. I preferred more of commercial advisory, negotiations, doing more of the FP&A work compared to being in the field, doing well engineering or reservoir engineering. So I preferred all of that. So I knew, and even my internships were in banks, investment banks, consulting. So I just followed through. So for me, it was different from, I already knew what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. So it was different for me compared to some of my other mates that are struggling. We did engineering but couldn't get engineering jobs and are now forced to come into finance or banking or anything. But me, I knew from straight from school, so I just followed through. So it was different for me.
And one question I'm sure a lot of young people have is that, hey, if I studied chemical engineering, how can I apply for jobs in the area of finance or something like that? Aren't people going to say to you, you studied engineering, why are you here?
Well, that used to be a question in the past, but we need in the past few years. I don't think anybody will ask that. People have PhD in physics, in astrophysics or something. They will still come and do consulting jobs. It's about how fast you can think and how you can solve problems, about skills. Right now, my skill set is about financial accounting, financial reporting, IFRS. Now I'm even trying to acquire more skills like valuation, financial modeling, so I can move to what I said about skills, about what is studies, about how you can solve problem, how you can manage a team, and all of that. So I think more is about these days. People don't ask the kind of questions again because a lot of people know it's about skills and know more about what to study.
That's great for the listener out there and a young person who's thinking about it, because many people feel like, oh, I studied this, how can I apply to work in that? And the answer is apply for whatever you want. But the most important thing is that you've got to demonstrate that you have some skills and those types of things that the employer wants. And of course, one thing about engineering that I have learned over the years is that engineering provides a framework of thinking, like a logical framework. And sometimes that's a valuable skill, just being able to
Mm-hmm.
think in a logical way. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's because from school, you learn how to solve problems. You go around, you do chemical, you do mechanical, you do agri, you do bits of everything. So you're exposed, you do engineering economics, engineering management, engineering law. So you go around and then you go through a structured way of solving problems, identifying the problem, the options, what you can do about it, and eventually finding a solution. So that's basically what the workplace is. There's a problem or there's a gap, and try and fill the gap. So that's it.
Another question is that for a young person, they may say, I've just studied for 4 years at university, and now you're telling me I have to learn other skills? So,
Yeah. For me, okay.
yeah, I mean, it's
For
like
me, I wasn't really sure.
university doesn't prepare me, or is it just because if I want to change, or do I have to learn lots of new skills in life in general?
I think with the way the world is going, you have to keep learning new skills. You get to a stage where you might not be able to learn as much new skills as it's coming up, and you'll not be focusing on managing people at that level. But at this young level, you should be able to, you have to be agile, you have to be able to learn a lot News is a very important thing. I don't think you can survive without, because there are new applications. I do e-learn test every day because there are a lot of stuff that are coming up. So I think it's one thing every young person should be able to, it's like a requirement in life now. You have to be able
Mm.
to keep moving. You have to keep learning news every day. So that's it. Yeah.
It's a global marketplace. In fact, on my wall
Yeah.
next to me, I have my CFA charter, which I got in 2001, and I was already 30 some years old at that time. And then I have another thing on my wall, my PhD, and I got my PhD when I was 50. So yeah, if you want
Wow.
success, you've got to learn your skills, you've got to keep improving yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to get the big jobs and the big pay and the big opportunity.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I agree. You have to keep. Yeah, even right now, okay, I'm in one line of service. I'm trying to move to another line of service. The partner in my line of service will not allow me to leave because they're training me for something. They don't want me to leave. I'm acquiring more financial reporting skills. While I'm here, I'm also training for where I'm going to. I'm taking master classes. I'm doing tests, preparing myself for when I go. So when I present, these skills I've garnered and this is where I want to go to, then I'll convince the partner there to take me, and the partner here to release me. So there are skills, negotiation, and learning how to balance all of that stuff. So I think to apply to various areas, if it's engineering, working on the field, if it's tech, if it's NGOs, and so I think it applies everywhere basically.
And another question I have for you is, what about the pace of life in work compared to university? A lot of students in university, they say, oh, I'm so busy and there's so much to do and I got exams. But sometimes when you go to work, you realize, oh my God, I have a long commute, and then I've got to work late, and sometimes I have to work on the weekend, and then sometimes my health starts to slip. What's your experience going into the workforce?
Okay, for me, around this area, it depends on the kind of background you have. The kind of background I have, my parents are very, they worked a lot, so I was very independent. I also worked a lot, so I developed that habit. So in school, it was stressful, but I was also doing things by the side, things on the side, various jobs, so I was used to that. Then coming to working to reduce the stress, I have to spend a lot of money, like renting a house close to work, close to the hub, the major hub, or and then maybe getting a private car or something. So you have to spend more. Otherwise, if you live far, you spend a lot of time, a long time in commute because you don't have as much developed transport system as in Europe and America. So I have to spend more, and then and then working late is, I think working long hours is natural. It's a thing of the mindset. So once you know you're in consulting or you're in audit, you spend long hours. So your body helps you relax into it. There's no more stress. So I think I'm coping fine. School was stressful, work is stressful, and I think life is just keep pushing. I don't really have much issues with that. I'm used to it already.
It reminds me when I was younger and I took my first job as a financial analyst. I lived right next to the office, and then I got another job on the other side of town, and I moved right next to the office. So I walked into the office in both of those jobs, and that saved
Mm,
me maybe 2 hours a day, and that 2 hours could be a major competitive advantage compared to my peers. So I definitely know that feeling. Know that feeling. All
mm,
right. Is there any other
yeah, I
advice?
agree.
Is there any other advice that you would give to a young person who wants to build a career in finance?
Okay, so I would say when I finished school, I was thinking of entrepreneurship. I was thinking of VCs. I was thinking of a lot of stuff. I had a lot of ideas, but it didn't work out. So I always have an exit strategy. It didn't work out. I had a good background in banking and consulting, and it wasn't working. I stopped it because it was in another part of town. It was a little bit undeveloped, and it wasn't working. I stopped and moved. I knew when to leave. Even right now, I know when to leave. The economy is always shaking, and anything can happen. So I always have a lot of plans. So I think you should always know when to leave. You know, always have a plan B and all of. So yeah, I think that's the nothing I can add.
I think that's good advice. Is that when you realize something's not working, don't spend 5 years trying to make something work that really isn't working. Just walk away and find the thing that matters most to you. Great. Well, it looks like you got a
Okay.
busy day right now and a busy day ahead, so I don't want to take any more of your time. So thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome.